Hey, it's your girl Ekia Duba, and today we'll be talking about the clitoris. So that is the clitoris that you're looking at. That little tiny thing that is found or seen in between the labia minora, that is our clitoris. We will talk about the labia minora, the labia majora in subsequent videos. So that is it, tiny there, looking so beautifully situated in between the labia minora. So you can touch your clitoris with a mirror too. You can actually see your clitoris beautifully situated there. So you see on top, you can see something like a hood covering the clitoris. To make you understand it better, you see when a male child is born, there's a foreskin covering their penis, which is usually cut off. Like that foreskin is cut off like during circumcision. Good. So that hood that you see there basically looks or also acts like a foreskin, just that ours is not cut off after birth. Okay, so that's the hood covering the clitoris. Now this hood covering the clitoris basically protects the clitoris from oversensitivity. That's what it does there. It's protected from oversensitivity, because the clitoris is very sensitive. In fact, it's the most sensitive part of our genitals. So that's the job of the clitoral hood there. Now the clitoris that you're looking at, that small thing there are some women who have this as small as a pea, and then there are some women whose clitoris is as big as a child's finger, a baby's finger. So whether yours is big, whether yours is small, it's quite normal. So you shouldn't really be bothered unless you were born with a very small like clitoris, like it was small, and in recent times, maybe just recently, it has swollen, it has gotten swollen, and you feel some pain. That one you would have to go to the hospital so that they check to see what the problem is. Otherwise, it's very normal to have a big clitoris or a small clitoris. Now the interesting thing is that little thing there that we actually thought it was just the clitoris is actually just the tip of the whole thing. Okay, that's why the clitoris has this beautiful nickname, the tip of an iceberg. So now what you're looking at is actually how our clitoris looks like. That is how the clitoris looks like. Isn't it beautiful? So that part you see is just the tip of an iceberg. That's why the clitoris have that beautiful nickname, an iceberg. You see, for those of you who have watched Titanic, you see that ice that the ship ended up hitting against, and then the ship ended up sinking. So they thought it was just a small ice up there, but deep into the ocean it was far bigger and longer. That's exactly how the clitoris acts like. You will see that small part up there, but deep into your vagina walls, there it's the part that's where the larger part of our clitoris is situated at. So it sort of surrounds the vagina walls beautifully. So that part you're looking at is called the glans. That part you can see, you can touch, is called the glans. But let's not bother ourselves with all these names. The most important thing to know is your clitoris is not just that tiny part you see. It actually, extends into our vagina walls. In fact, it's quite big there. When it enters into our vagina walls, it sort of branches into two legs. Yeah, so our clitoris sort of has two legs actually. And again, it's as big. I mean, when you measure it, it's about 3 to 5 inches long. That is almost like a flaccid penis. So it's not very small. It's quite huge there. Now, the clitoris actually exists for only one reason. There is one very important reason why we have a clitoris. The clitoris exists just to help women experience pleasure, sexual pleasure. That's the function of the clitoris. So the clitoris really doesn't have any important role to play when it comes to, reproduction, okay? It's just there to make women feel good. That's the essence of our clitoris. Now, women being able to feel good because of this clitoris is as a result of the thousands of nerve endings that are found in our clitoris. Now, a man has about 4,000 nerve endings in his penis, but a woman has as much as 8,000 nerve endings in our clitoris. That is like double of what the man has. So, Charlie, we are super. Our clitoris has this beautiful nerve endings. That's why when it's stimulated sexually, some women age, their eyes, it rolls back and you can't even see the black part of their eyes. Just say, so this is because of the plenty nerve endings that are found there. Okay, now one thing you should know is that once you hit puberty, your clitoris keeps on growing with you way until you get into your menopause, and even after your clitoris actually keeps on growing, but just that the growth isn't so big, so you really may not actually notice it. Okay, but what you should know is that your clitoris grows with you gradually as you also grow. Now, one thing you should know that the clitoris has some similarities to the male penis. Okay, you see, when a man is sexually excited, his penis becomes erected, it becomes hard, it becomes like double or triple its size or whatever. That's exactly how the clitoris also behaves when it's sexually excited. When the clitoris is stimulated, when whether with the fingers or with the tongue, it also becomes erected and it becomes bigger than its normal size. Now, when it happens like this, that clitoral hood that I spoke to you about actually draws back. Yeah, it draws back, revealing only the clitoris. So maybe one day you and your partner, during romance, a foreplay, after your clitoris has been stimulated, probably you should take a look at it to see how big your clitoris will also become. Okay, now this clitoris becomes big. Not only the part you are looking at, the part that is inside also becomes big. Okay, and this is because of the increased blood flow to that part. That's the reason why it has become engorged or it has become big. Now the part inside becomes so big that in fact you will even feel it at the labia minora. Outside the outside. That's because of the increased blood flow to that place. So it will also become erected, just like how a penis becomes erected. But it didn't become so big like the penis. No, but we should know that it also becomes erected. Now, just as a man's penis, after erection, after ejaculation, it calms down, it goes back to its pre-arousal state. The clitoris also, after a woman has orgasm, also goes back to its pre-arousal state. It goes back to how small it was before it became sexually excited. So it also relaxes and then calms down. So that's how the clitoris also actually acts. Now, one thing you should know is that about 50 to 75% of women, okay, can only achieve orgasm by clitoral stimulation. That is, for a woman to actually reach an orgasm, her clitoris has to be stimulated, either with the hand, with the tongue, before the woman actually also knows, say, yeah, I've also reached there. Okay, it's very necessary. Now, most times the men may think that just the penetration alone can make a woman get excited or reach an orgasm, but for most women, you need to play with their clitoris before they actually can reach an orgasm. So, my dear men, learn the art of playing, exploring with your partner's clitoris, so that she also can get that excitement, and then the penetration will happen, and then both of you will be satisfied. Good. So, the clitoris is a marvelous organ there, or a structure there. Now, as I said, the clitoris, when sexually stimulated, becomes engorged, or it becomes big. You should also know that one thing you should know is that after you've orgasm, after you've come, after you are okay, it should go back to its pre-arousal state. But then if after a day or two it's still engorged, it's still swollen, and you feel pain, you should go to the hospital. Don't be shy. It's very important to go to the hospital. Okay. Now, aside sexual stimulation that can make it erected or engorged, there are certain conditions that can also lead to this problem. Number one is being allergic to certain materials, being allergic to certain creams. Women, we are always putting creams, putting this, all sorts of things down there because we want to smell good, because we want to be tight. You may be allergic to some of these things, and at the end of the day, it will make your clitoris, swollen. I, for example, I'm allergic to certain medications that when I take it makes my face, swollen. So maybe one day I should take this drug on purpose, just to see if my clitoris will also become swollen. It's good to experiment, right? But what you should know is that you should be careful with the kind of creams and things that you're using down there, okay? Now, another thing that makes this clitoris engorge or becomes bigger is maybe when you have any bacteria or fungal infection. It also makes the vulva, including the clitoris, all become swollen and big, and you may even feel pains. Please go to the hospital when you have a problem like that. Again, there is a hormone called androgen hormones, which is found mostly in men. But then there are some women who have these androgen hormones in excess. If you have this androgen hormone in excess in your system, it also makes your clitoris look very big. It becomes like a mini penis, sort of. Okay, that's how they are born with. Their clitoris looks like a mini penis. Okay, you should go to hospital when you see any of these things, so that if something can be done, it can be done quickly before it gets to a point where nothing can be done for you. Okay, so we should be careful the things that we are doing down there. Now, I hope you've learned something today. I hope today you've learned that the clitoris, the little thing that you're seeing there, is not all that there is to the clitoris. It's far bigger and longer and it's inside there. You've also learned that for a woman to be sexually satisfied, her clitoris needs to be played with. And we've also learned that we should be careful with the kind of creams and things that we are using there to make us feel good. Okay, so in my next video we will talk about the labia minora, labia majora, the changes that happen to the clitoris during pregnancy. We will learn about all those things. Now, if you have any problem, any kind of sexual problem, if you have any problem at all with your reproductive health, with anything, please you can put at the comment section, or better still, that is my email address. You can ask me any question you have, and I'll do my very best to help you so that you can be okay or can be free. So please take care, explore, enjoy your body, have fun with your body. Now, before I sign off, I forgot one very important thing. Some women do not have a clitoris, and this is because of cultural practices or cultural beliefs. Their clitoris has been cut off. You see, this is a normal clitoris. This is how a normal clitoris or a vulva looks like. But with these women, theirs have been cut off, and there's only a small hole left that they can urinate, menstruate, and give birth through. So because of these practices, they are not able to enjoy what some of us are enjoying, and that is quite bad. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please subscribe and like, and hit the notification button. Okay, so until next week, enjoy life, but be careful and stay safe. Bye.